That's a legit top 5.
Game knows. This hobby can be complicated. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Looking for a hobby where you can take these vehicles and just plug it in, charge a battery, and run it, then you want to stay away from Nitro. Quite complicated. There's a very, very steep learning curve. So, kind of a long-winded way of saying, be ready. Be ready.
That's a really good top 5.
Hey, also Nitro Nerds here. This is going to be kind of a no-frills video, which is a straight top 5 list of a question that I was asked recently that I thought was a pretty good question, and that is, what are the top 5 things that I've learned in this hobby? So the number 4 thing about this hobby that I've learned is to be real about it. I know that's a very abstract term, but when you get into this hobby, be true to yourself about what it is that you want to do, what you want to accomplish, how you want to spend your time, and to hell with your previous experience, because unless it's in Nitro RC, you're going to be a newbie, and you're going to be a newbie for a while.
Just remember this, there's not a damn thing in the world wrong with being a newbie.
Words, understand what it is that you want to achieve from this hobby. There's a lot of different classes of vehicles, and by class, buggy, truggy, monster truck, different scales, so 1/10 scale, 1/5 scale, 1/8 scale, etc. And each of them, for all intents and purposes, is designed for particular use. So if you're interested in off-road dashing, right? You want to take it to a little construction site around your house, whatever. You probably don't want to get a vehicle that is designed for on-road. So before you really take that dive into it, step back and think a little bit about what it is you want to do. Now, one thing, I can't say this from firsthand experience. However, I've heard it from a lot of people, and I would assume it's true, and that is on-road, as an example, can get old pretty quickly. So one of these domains, if you will, right? One of these intents of what you're wanting from these vehicles can cross these different domains. So how can I word this? So you can have a vehicle that is kind of a jack of all trades. You can run the shit out of it on road. You can take it off road, things such as that. But again, you have to go into it understanding what you want, not getting something and then hoping it fits your desires. By that I mean, often you'll see that people will claim they understand things, but at night when they go to bed and their head hits that pillow, they know, to themselves, they realize that they really don't know what it is they're saying. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble that way, because you're hurting yourself as well as others, but you're not advancing. I'll give you an example. Bearings. Okay. Say what you want, laugh, whatever. It took me a while to fully understand how to ascertain if the bearings are working properly. Took a lot of different types of testing, and I actually consulted with manufacturers of bearings and things such as that. Okay, so I actually realized the things that I didn't know. So know what you don't know. Going back to bearings in this example, what I determined was the best test is to put them on the actual objects that you're going to be using. And if you can feel the bearing, you should feel nothing, right, when you're spinning it. Now here I'm really testing the inner race. And if you feel anything whatsoever, then it's time to change them. Now when I test the outer race, what I'll do is I'll put actually inside of its housing, okay, and then test it that way. So just little things such as that. Same thing with right here, you see. So the first thing that I'll do here is test it on the type of object I'm going to use it. This feels good. Put it on. Now I'll do test the actual outer race, things such as that, okay? So again, just be real with it and understand that you really don't know what you might think you know. So I've learned that as you get older, the less likely things are to freak you out. However, this actually had me scratching my head. I'm sure some of you might not believe it, but I assure you, this really happened. This is a little footage from something that I was filming earlier. Pretty crazy. In other words, I bring that heat, I bring you that thunder and lightning. That's live. Cut. Once again, that is no sound effect or anything such as that. What's funny is the very first thing that popped in my head when this occurred was, what if the context of what I was saying was still within context, but just different? So maybe I was saying something to the effect of, may God strike me dead, or as God is my witness, or something to that effect. I don't think I could have handled that. I think I probably would have just gone running and screaming in the streets.